everybody, welcome to School of Scarlet. Today I have another message for you. So I'm happy to be out here in my backyard. It's been a while since I filmed a video out here. This is one of my favorite locations to film. It's by the pond here in my backyard, and it's been a place that I usually filmed a lot of my intuitive messages. So I'm bringing you another intuitive message today, and there's a leaf for confirmation. If you are new here, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, to hit that notification bell. I'm putting out daily intuitive messages, and there's no coincidence that you're here today. So today's message is about heartbreak. So have you ever been through a heartbreak and you've noticed that there's a shift in the way that you process your emotions? You feel blocked in a lot of ways. Oftentimes we get very disconnected from hearing our inner voice and hearing our intuition. So I want to talk about that here today. One of the main ways that we lose our connection or feel disconnected from our intuition is because of heartbreaks, because of things like this happening in our lives. So I have, deeply analyzed this in my own life, and I can count about 3 situations, 3 occurrences in my life where I had a heartbreak or I had a loss in some sort of way, and this happened to me. Now, what will happen is as soon as this heartbreak happens, it'll really feel like you can't hear that inner voice anymore. Then after that, it almost feels like there is a period of grieving, of purging, of crying, and then all of a sudden it stops. It becomes very dry, and it's like you don't really cry or feel emotional about anything anymore. There's this kind of like death of emotions for a while. You're kind of numb to the world. So if you're already resonating with this, give me a thumbs up down below. So this message here is really meant to kind of shift that for you, because one of the things that we want to connect with in order to be successful, in order to live a full and active, very successful life within our own being, is to be connected to our intuition. Because when we're not connected to our intuition, which is more associated with the feminine energy, what happens is we get connected mainly and solely to the masculine energy. So what ends up happening when we get a heartbreak, when we get hurt, is that we go through this process of feeling unsafe. Now, to be connected to your intuition, you have to have safety. You have to feel safe within your being. Because in order to trust intuition, keyword trust, you have to be able to trust. And if you don't trust, if you don't feel that safety, you just cannot trust. But if you go through this heartbreak, let's say anything happens in your life and something like this happens, you have a breakup, someone dies, someone betrays you, these sorts of things. When these sorts of things happen, this is when we go into the masculine energy, because the masculine energy comes in to protect you. Oftentimes the body will really feel out of control. Our nervous system will really go out of whack. We'll begin to feel sick. We'll begin to feel just not ourselves. And that's when that masculine energy comes in and really takes charge and is like, well, this is what we're going to do now. This is how we're going to get out of this, and begins to create plans, begins to create ways that we're going to do this. So that's what the masculine energy is there for. Now, I'm not saying to get rid of the masculine energy altogether, because what we have to do is just balance it. We have to have a good balance of the feminine and the masculine energy within. But when we go through these heartbreaks, when we go through these betrayals, we hold on to resentment. We hold on to these feelings of anger, of frustration against this person, or the situation at large. And so we don't want to let go of this. And what ends up happening, because we don't want to let go of this, is that we kind of tie ourselves more to that masculine energy. So our balance is off. We're really relying on the masculine rather than the balance of the feminine and the masculine. So what can we do? If we feel ourselves that we have been clinging on to that masculine energy, that we are, just trying to put our tough skin on and just trying to be that tough person now and take control of our lives and act like we have a plan, like we can control everything from now on and no one's ever going to hurt us. If that is our mentality, we have to begin to let go of that rope that we're holding on to. See, that rope of resentment or that rope of control that we're holding on to, it's like you're tugging on this rope, and it's really just burning your hands. And, at some point you really have to let go of that rope for that pain to stop. It's not going to stop by you continually, trying to climb up this rope. You have to let go at some point. And so that's what you're being called to do today, to let go of some of that control, to let go of some of that masculine energy and allow the feminine to come in for a little bit and begin to nurture you once again. The masculine energy is more about, like I say, control, where the feminine is more about allowing, surrender. And the reason that we surrender is because that's how we allow trust. When we surrender and we allow the trust to come in or life to happen, we begin to recognize that we can trust our intuition. We can trust life. We can trust ourselves. Whereas with the masculine energy, if we're just relying on that solely, we're really relying on control. And that's a fear-based way of living, because we are trying to control, force, effort things in order to get things to happen a certain way. And there's really no way to control everything in our reality. So we have to have a level of surrender in order to have peace, in order to have joy, in order to have a good time once again, or have love once again. So the emotions of love are not meant to be, cut off forever. We have a heartbreak and sometimes we say, oh, never again. I'm done with relationships. Or someone betrays us in a job or a business, and never again. They're never going to help us in a business. I'm doing this solely by myself. Or, a family member passes away or something, and we detach from everybody else because we don't want to feel the pain of losing anyone else in our lives. So that is the unhealthy version of doing this. We have to find a balance where we can allow ourselves to experience life. And we allow ourselves to experience life, that's when we begin to have all these intuitive messages that truly align us to who we are, that truly align us to our path, and allow us to be able to hear that inner voice, to be able to have joy, to experience things like creativity, to experience things like joy, like dancing, like really enjoying all of these things in life. As you can see, when we're too tied to the masculine energy, oftentimes it's like we're blinded to a lot of the beauty in life. We're just seeing things kind of black and white. And what I'm seeing here is like the power going out in a house. And so the power goes out in the house and you can't see anything. You're just touching, the furniture and trying to get around everything. And so you're relying on your touch, but you can't see anything. There's no beauty there. Everything has kind of gone dark. And that's what happens when we just only solely rely on the masculine energy. So I want to call you back today to release whoever it is that betrayed you, to release whoever it is that caused you that heartbreak, to release whoever it is that you're identifying with that caused you anything that you're holding on to resentment over. So maybe take a moment here and go within and ask yourself, when did I have that switch? When was it that something happened in my life where I started to rely more on the masculine, or I became that tough girl or that tough guy and never really wanted to be soft again? When did that happen? And identify that, and you're going to see that there's going to be a person associated to that. That other person is just a reflection right now, a mirror to you of something to let go of. And so I encourage you today to consciously just say, I let go of that situation. I am freeing myself of that situation so that you can let go of that rope and it won't burn you anymore. Okay, so I really encourage you to do that here today. As you do that, you're going to realize and recognize that intuition is going to come back to you. Allow yourself to play, allow yourself to be in joy, to have creativity, to be like a child again, without going back just solely to the masculine, because you've been so used to the masculine right now that it may not feel totally comfortable. But allow yourself to go in that, and that way you can begin to balance those energies. Okay, so if you have any trouble doing this, or maybe you hear this message but then you don't really take a lot of action on it, because oftentimes we watch videos but then we have an intention of doing something but we don't follow through. If you're wanting to feel accountable, if you're wanting to go through a course or a program with me, right now is the perfect time to join my intuition course. My intuition course literally just works on intuition, on connecting you back to your intuition, and then playing in all of the things that I'm talking about, like all of the creative facets that come along with it, like all of the fun, joyful things that come along with it. And we literally do these things in the course so that you can go ahead and walk through that, and it'll become totally natural to who you are, and you will never forget it. So if you're interested in joining that course, you can go ahead and check out in my comments section. I'll link the link down there, and I'll also link it in my description. I hope and I really encourage you, and I invite you to join me to that course. It is going to be an amazing course, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. So anyhow, if you're new here, again, please subscribe to my channel, give me a like, share this video with others. I will catch you on our next message. I love you all.